There are items in there that this council voted on that aren't in this budget. Simple items as opposed to the Learning Center that's over in Dover Avenue, Kent Heights, $125,000 appropriation. Or the solar project of approximately $250,000. It's not in yet. I haven't found it. I could be looking in the wrong area. We need to be looking into this. So that being said, when the city manager presented us with this budget, it really isn't a 0% tax increase. Because you start adding those items in there, 125,000. And if I could be wrong on this, Mr. Luba, approximately every 750,000 extra is a 1% tax increase, correct? Is that approximate?
Yeah. I would say the problem that East Providence has is that you are appropriating taxes now that won't take into effect until July 1st. Your zero tax increase went in the past July, and that's going to hold effect until June 30th. So any tax increase you want for this budget starts in July. The good news is you collect about 70% of your tax revenue in those 4 months. July, August, September, October, you collect a tremendous amount up front. So basically, every point that you raise taxes is in a full year, which you don't have, it's $1 million, but you'll collect 70% of that, so you'll collect $700,000 for every 1 point of tax increase you put in. So if you put in 1 point, it's 1, 2 point, it's $1.4 million, so that's the way it goes.
But at this time, those two items, and I don't know if we should be asking you or Mr. Chapman, do we have to, we already voted for the $125,000 to be put in there as far as the Learning Center. Do we have to vote on that again?
You voted to put it into the budget,
Yes.
and
Back in April.
and you're saying it wasn't put in the budget.
Correct.
I think you voted for it in 2015.
We voted for it in April 2015
Right,
to be in this budget.
So you'll be able to, and I believe there is room in this year's budget that you'll be able to spend it without reallocating it again in 2016.
You're saying it's not in the budget, then you've got
I
to
just
put it in
don't,
the budget.
okay, that's what I'm asking is,
It's the 15 allocation though, no?
It's a 15
Appropriation.
allocation.
Appropriation.
Voted on 15 for FY 16.
FY
You voted on for
I mean,
16?
that's my, I think this is probably the first time recently that Mayor Rose and I agree on something. But this is a bad budget. It is, what the previous city manager did is, he talks about the 0% tax increase, and quite honestly, I've heard that before, and what that eventually did was roll out a red carpet for the budget commission to come into the city. What he essentially did was, he asked all the departments to submit their budget, take a 1% cut off that's probably what your 2 items are, and then level fund the school department, and kick things down the road. This is, I don't care if they have to raise taxes, it has political ramifications, people who know me, I couldn't care less about that. What I would have a problem with, I couldn't sleep at night, this is not a good budget for the city of East Providence. It underfunds our school department, kicks things down the road. I ran for city council based on this. The 3 most important things I think the city does is educate its children and provide for the public safety. What he's done is increase the budget 1% for the police department, 5% for the fire department, and 0% for the school department. Those don't reflect my financial reality and what our priority should be. This is a bad budget for the city of East Providence. You can count on the 0 tax increase, and I think the residents are smarter than that. It's a bad budget that does a disservice to the taxpayers and the residents of East Providence.
I have to agree with you on this, because here we are with the water sewer situation, and that has been kicked way too long. And this is what construction.
And that doesn't, I'll reference page 3 of his narrative, when he talks about a significant initiative that we have to do for the computer cost. The only problem is, that's not in the budget. You can think about doing that. That's a tax increase. That has to be a tax increase unless he asks the departments to take a greater than 1%. decrease on their budget. It's a bad budget, and I think it's trying to make us, the council, look like the bad guys and that we rose taxes. And I truly believe that.
That's what I'm finding. The further I go into this, that's what I'm finding. And like I said, as far as the solar project, that's a project that brings in approximately, I want to say 90,000 per year.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying?
7,400 per month.
7,400, 90,000 per year. So when we're going into stage 2 of this, this is 250,000 that's allocated towards that over a 20-year period. That's money that we're receiving, like I said, 90,000 per year for the next, is it 20 years, Gene? Okay. And when we extend, if we go into phase 2, that, and right, it'll be an additional 90,000 when we go into the phase 2, so we'll be receiving.
So it's a 3-year payback.
The other thing I would add, though, is you take the police department budget increase of 1%, you take the fire department increase of 5%, and this is just my personal financial priorities, and you add, say, have the school department take the mill ground, that's 3%, that's an extra $1.3 million. And if I ask Superintendent Mercer, could you improve the quality of public education for an extra $1.3 million, I think you'd probably say yes. And I think when we see all the comments about the conditions of our school, the lack of extracurriculars, the age of our textbooks, the lack of professional development for our teachers, the compensation for our teachers, and we're the lowest paid in terms of budget percentage. I mean, it's not that hard. That's the math. I mean, if you want to argue that the school department has to use that efficiently, I'm willing to have that conversation. But you need more money if we want excellence in education. That's what I believe. That's where I ran. And so I just can't support this budget in its current form.
With all due respect, look at the numbers here. Cost per underfunded school operates probably well underfunded. However, does that 43% high factor in the state aid and the federal aid that we receive is wrong for you?
Yeah, it does. We got a 2 point. I mean, we got
So
$2.5 million extra state aid this year. We got
lower than 43.5.
But to be fair, I mean, the way Mr. Cahoon did the analysis, it's taken into account the state aid, it's taken into, I mean, that revenue number includes state aid, water, sewer, I mean, it includes a lot of things in there. So the more state aid you get, basically the worse you're gonna look, because that state aid's in your revenue number, and you take a percentage of that, and you're gonna come out lower. But, you know, that's,
But essentially what he did, though, is get $2.5 million more in state aid, I'll just level fund you. That's essentially what he did.